Inflation has taken quite a toll over the last 5 years, with the prices of everything from common goods to housing to big ticket purchases skyrocketing. We watched the Federal Reserve raise interest rates aggressively in hopes of stifling that inflation, but now that the labor market's deteriorating, we're seeing them have to make a hard choice between which is the bigger problem, inflation or unemployment. All right, so you might see a line that says something like inflation is running above the Fed's preferred 2% target. And you might be wondering, why do we want inflation? Why is that the goal to always have 2% annual inflation? So here's a breakdown on why some inflation from the right sources is actually desirable. All right. So there's two main causes for inflation in general. First being economic factors, and the second you can call the combination of fiscal and monetary policy, aka printing money in a way. Okay. So why you want some inflation is think about supply and demand. All right. If there is more demand for a limited set of goods, the price of those goods will naturally rise a bit. And you want demand to be strong because that means the economy is strong. Businesses are buying products to make other things. Consumers are buying goods and services, right? When demand is strong, the economy is humming better, and that naturally should drive prices up a little bit. And that's where you help with the supply side a bit too, and making sure that they don't go too crazy. But we saw that with COVID. Remember all the shipping containers getting stuck off the coast and car prices going up, right? That was a supply and demand issue. So the reason you might want a little bit of inflation is because you want that strong economic demand to keep things going. Where you don't want it to come from is from printing money or excessive policy choices like that, right? So seeing a combination of the two, but that is why you want a little bit of inflation in the market. It's a healthy sign. If you have deflation where prices are dropping, that means demand in general is weak. All right. So you don't want to see a lot of deflation, even though psychologically it sounds good, right? You want your money to go further, of course, but in all reality, you want a tiny bit of inflation because that's a positive sign. People are buying stuff, manufacturing things that other people want, and demand is strong across the board. So when you hear that 2% target, that's why. Obviously, we don't want it much above that. But if this video was helpful, give a like and follow for more.